Oh no, he didn't drop. Oh, you got it, you got it, there's another one. Oh, let's go! Oh, let's go!
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Oh, five!
I just got a Reaper! I just got a Reaper!
You got a Reaper! Oh my god, bro!
I hope you enjoyed that clip. I thought it was pretty tasty. Hello Guardians, my name is GHanimal and I've heard that you want to win Rumble. I see so many posts on the Crucible Playbook subreddit of Rumble critiques, people asking what they can do better, and I've noticed that 90% of them are Nightstalkers. But you guys you guys suck at playing Nightstalker, okay? You guys are terrible. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I can definitely help you get better, so here are some tips for playing Nightstalker in Rumble. I do think the reason that so many people struggle playing Nightstalker is because they don't understand its full potential. It's an easy subclass to learn, but it's one that takes a lot of time to master, so let's get straight into it. Loadouts. Let's talk exotic armor. I see a lot of people using the Graviton Forfeit, which is a very good piece of armor, but it just simply doesn't work against good players. If I see that I'm hunted, I'll either shade step to break your tracking, or I simply won't peek you. The Graviton Forfeit can be good for sniping, but I don't double peek snipers anyway, let alone when I know that I'm hunted. I've used Graviton Forfeit in trials before in order to use Predator so that I could get my tether back. I think it's about 30 to 40 seconds earlier. But honestly, the extra mobility you get from Bones of Io is just too good to pass up. Bones of Io is, in my opinion, by far the best hunter exotic in the game. The Frosties are another viable option, especially if you play on a low sensitivity like me. I play on a 3 because I like to snipe. The increased turn radius you get from wearing the Frosties can help compensate for a low sensitivity when you're trying to shotgun. However, in my opinion, using the Frosties if you want to increase your gun skill is a bad idea, and I think it's bad practice for Destiny 2. As we know, in Destiny 2 there are going to be universal cooldowns for our melee and grenades, so if you get too reliant on always having a wombo combo, your gun skill is going to suffer. I talk about the PvP in Destiny 2 more in depth in my previous video if you want to watch that after this one. Or don't, I'm not your mother. Make your own decisions. If I told you not to buy Galahorn because a rocket launcher is a wasting of exotic slot, would you do it? Now, if you have a scuff controller, I highly recommend that you remap circle to one of the paddles as this will allow you to shade step. However, if like me, you do not have a scuff, I recommend that you use the puppeteer button layout. It lets you shade step on R3, which means you don't have to take your thumb off the right stick. It also means you can slide and aim at the same time. Another option is to use bumper jumper, which I believe puts jump onto L1. Using shade step is the same as Twilight Garrison. It puts you into a third person view, which is great for placing enemies. Also, if you notice when you sprint, a little arrow, a little triangle appears in the middle of the screen. This same arrow appears when you shade step, and it can be very useful for sniping. If you shade step and place that arrow on top of someone's head, when you come out of shade step, it is extremely easy to quickscope them. It sounds mad, but honestly try it. My favourite area to do this on is on Bannerfall. If you slide around the corner of the tunnel in Bannerfall, honestly, easiest headshot of your life. Wombo combo, your bread and butter. You always want to throw the smoke first and then the grenade, so that they get trapped in it. If you're using void wall grenades or vortex grenades, you always want to throw them together pretty much. You want to just throw the smoke then the grenade. However, if you're using spike grenades, they don't necessarily need to be thrown with the smoke, as they're very powerful on their own. For the best effect, just try and treat a spike grenade like it's a lightning grenade. Throw them at the wall behind someone, watch them die. Use them to completely block off a doorway and escape. Whoa, that was weird. I think I just had a vision of 6 minutes into the future. Anyway, let's talk about armor and recovery. I've tried every single combination and I finally settled on Way of the Nomad and Path Unknown. This is just a personal preference, but I prefer to have the ability to shade step out of a fight and get back in there quickly due to my health regen. Speaking of shade step, try not to do it too close to a Warlock or a Titan because they will just melee you and you will not have a good time. If you're going to be shotgunning on shade step, try to shotgun first and then shade step. As you saw towards the beginning of this video, I made the mistake of shade stepping first at the engagement, and it got me killed. Always shotgun, then shade step. The special weapon you want to run in Rumble is basically a shotgun or a good fusion rifle like a Saladin's Vigil. Sidearms are also a good option, but I personally don't like using sidearms as I like to keep my hand cannon shot crispy and practiced. If I use a sidearm, I'm probably just tempted to use it as my primary weapon the entire match. I will not pull out my hand cannon once. I guess I could use a pulse rifle, but hand cannons are king in Rumble. If you're trying to win a Rumble match, you shouldn't be sniping unless your name is Sir Demetrius. Save snipers for the slower game modes like 3v3. I don't care how good you are at feathering the L2 button to see your radar while you're sniping, someone will sneak up on you at some point. You're gonna get pinched. Just don't do it. Now let's move on to the Rumble specific tips. The first is radar and map awareness. The two most important things in Rumble are winning your 1v1s and controlling the spawns. I'll come back to winning 1v1s at the end of the video. Spawns are just something that will come with time. Every time you respawn, try and take a mental note of where it was. Or you could always load up a private match in Mayhem, jump off the map and learn it that way, seeing as the respawns are instant. Know the lanes and always know where your cover is. For learning lanes, just think, when you spawn, where's the first place you go? The high traffic areas. What sort of lanes are you looking down? For Pantheon, obviously you've got the waterfall side, and then there's the side on the left, which is overlooking the cube. If you find yourself respawning in the middle of the map, try and get to the outside of the map as quick as you can. You should have noticed in this video, a few times I spawn way away from Catwalk, which is where you want to control an anomaly. And I don't even bother engaging anyone because it's so easy to get pinched there. So I make my way to the outside of the map as quickly as I can. You want to lock down about 15 to 20% of the map in Rumble. You can change the area if people start rushing you from multiple angles at once. If they learn where you are, some guy might get salty and come back with a Nova Bomb. Or you can do what I did in this gameplay and use it to your advantage. The guy that teabagged me earlier and sent me a hate mail got so mad that I kept killing him over and over again. He just started doing the stupid aggressive pushes, which was just easy for me to kill him. Pay attention to super activation noises and the kill feed. Don't be the one to challenge supers, you don't have to play hero. If you hear a super popped, just run. Leave someone else to deal with it. You can play janitor and go for the cleanup. Now the thing that I find separates a good player from a great player is their movement. We've already established that you always use your radar to find out if you're becoming pinched. If you find yourself getting pinched, two guys either side of you, you're in the middle, you're like, oh shit, what do I do? Reposition yourself so that you put one of the guys in the middle of you and the other guy. If this isn't an option and you're being hounded, try and pick one of them, just split second, pick one of them and kill him as quickly as possible, and then try and escape once he's dead. Don't dawdle in the middle trying to decide which one to kill or where to go, because the longer you stay there, the more likely you're going to be caught in a crossfire and most likely die. Now, this is going to sound weird considering I recommended Bones of Eo earlier. You don't want to hang in the air too much in front of your opponent. Yeah, you want to use your jump to get on top of them to disorientate them, but jumping causes your in-air accuracy to lower, and they'll have a much easier time hitting you than you can them. Unless you get yourself a nice hand cannon with Icarus, thank you God Roll Palindrome. But don't get me wrong, jumping is extremely effective in gunfights, just don't jump out in the open so that you're completely exposed. If you miss a shot, which is more likely because you're in the air, and they don't, and you start to lose the gunfight, there is no way for you to get to cover if you're in the middle of falling to the ground. Now finally, let's come back to winning your 1v1s. Hand cannon shot. There's no denying it, hand cannons are the king in Rumble. The trick to having a good hand cannon shot is to not do what I just did in the video and spam your shots and miss all of them. It's better to wait a moment and land a shot than spam and miss two of them. The best thing to do is go into patrol and practice snapping onto enemies' heads. Start slow, it doesn't matter how slow, just get the headshot. Take as much time as you need to get that headshot. Then slowly increase the speed. If you start missing headshots, slow it down again until you start hitting most of them. Do this for 10-15 minutes before you play. Some days I get lazy and I don't do it, but that means I spend the first 5 minutes of a Crucible match warming up my shot, which can give someone else the early lead. If you can get your 3 taps down to a fine art, you'll be unstoppable. Well, that's pretty much it from me. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm new to making videos, so I understand that the quality isn't the best in the world, but let me know what I did good, let me know what I did bad, and I'll improve it for next time. Also, let me know in the comments which subclass you want me to do next. I sort of started off this video with a more general Rumble sense, just to get it started, but for the next video, say if I do Sunsinger, for instance, it will be specifically on Sunsinger, now that we've got general Rumble tips covered. You don't have to leave a like on this video, but I would really appreciate it if you did. I mean, I'm not going to cry myself to sleep at night if you don't. What? I'm not. Alright, who told you about that? Please don't tell anyone, otherwise all my friends are going to laugh at me. Please. So yeah, let me know in the comments what subclass you'd like to see next. Take care. Another thing to note is that the radar doesn't seem to distinguish whether someone's on a different elevation point to you in Destiny 2. Whereas in Destiny 1 you could tell if someone was above or below you, the radar seems to stay the same colour regardless of their position. This could be used very well for baiting doorways, I feel. Especially with the Warlock's sort of pseudo Angel of Light perk, I feel like you could bait a doorway extremely effectively.